Bring us the latest here. What's going on in China?
Yeah, that's right. China is continuing to confront, what is really the biggest and broadest outbreak it's faced since that initial outbreak in Wuhan in 2019. We're seeing a couple more cases. Case counts really inch up nationally. There were 40 new cases today, 3 in Beijing, which obviously the capital city, a very important place that's highly protected. Those numbers are small compared to what you see in Western places, but for China, which really has stamped out infections through very aggressive containment measures, this is quite concerning that it's spread so far and is continuing to spread already. This is, of course, the Delta variant. Bear in mind that the Chinese government has a lot riding on the narrative that it stamped out that infection after being the place where the coronavirus first emerged. So it's a live situation.
A live situation. I mean, a lot of people are anticipating a potential border reopening between the mainland and Hong Kong potentially later on this year. Is that looking a little bit too ambitious now?
It does look ambitious. I mean, Hong Kong, on the other hand, has had an enormous amount of success. It's had 57 days, almost 2 months without a single local case. Now with the outbreak in China, Hong Kong has just said that it's not going to allow quarantine-free entry from China anymore. Of course, there was a big exception of Guangdong province, which is the neighboring southern province, and that's where most of the Chinese arrivals come through, really. So there's not going to be a huge impact, really, on the actual day-to-day inflows, but it's quite symbolic in saying, Hong Kong wants to maintain success, and it's quite concerned about that spillover from the mainland. So the chances of this area, Hong Kong, Macau, mainland, kind of opening up again, getting back to a free flow situation is growing. It's looking less and less likely this year.
And we see Macau, where Delta, or as COVID, has started to emerge. And this was one of the areas that really saw a very good job in terms of containing COVID last year. What's the latest on Macau now?
Yeah, definitely it's a surprise as well that it's got into Macau. I mean, Macau hasn't had a case for like almost over a year, in fact. It's one of those really COVID-free places. They found a cluster now. It's only 4 people, but, the governments in this part of the world are just so much more aggressive and so much more reactive to cases, right? So they've shut down a lot of leisure venues. Of course, casinos, the lifeblood of the economy, casinos are still allowed to operate. They're saying casinos haven't been affected yet. And they'll have to see what happens in a couple of weeks. What's really essential here, though, is that hopefully some of these outbreaks will also help to push those vaccination levels in Hong Kong and Macau up. Both of those places have very low vaccine levels, despite the fact that they have a lot of supply. So, because people don't really feel this threat at all. They haven't really seen cases for such a long time. So maybe this outbreak will help to get people coming forward.